Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is leaving the House. He will not seek re-election. And he details this and announces it in a Wall Street Journal opinion editorial. And he says, I'm leaving the House, but not the fight. My work is only getting started in my next chapter. I'm an optimist. How could I not be? I'm the son of a firefighter. For 17 years, I served in the same congressional seat, the same office in which I was once denied an internship.
Check 1, 2, test. Hello, everybody. How are you? All right, let's make sure everybody's hearing me okay. Let's do our typical audio check. I'm sure I'm fine. Let's take off my name here. All right, so how's everybody this evening? Let's go to your comments as well. We'll get those comments. Let me know where you're from tonight, what part of the country you're in, what part of the world you're in, per se. So I just want to get started and say welcome, everybody, to the show. I appreciate it. We're kicking off the 2024 season starting tonight. You're going to see some improvements to the show, and you're going to see more improvements over the coming days, actually, because you're going to see more podcasts than usual. You're going to see a couple different formats. I'm very excited about what's to come. So if you are watching right now on Rumble, be sure to give that a follow. It's very important that you follow the page there, because it helps us with our boosting our basically our ratings, and it gives us better traction and our reach as well. If you're not signed up for Rumble, I strongly recommend it. It is I posted yesterday, I do believe, or today, I can't remember, that it's an incredible platform run by patriots. You know, right now the only three platforms that I really enjoy are Twitter X, if you will, Facebook. No, I'm kidding. Facebook's the worst. And it's too bad. That's my biggest reach for the most part. But obviously True Social, which I don't post on too much, but because it's still right now, it's an echo chamber, but it's good for getting great information on there with other patriots. And of course, Rumble is amazing. And also I do another one too. I do belong to Pop Talk, and I post there periodically from time to time. And that's a great emergency backup too, as well, for me once Facebook starts shutting me down. But if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to share this podcast. Give us a like, hit that like button as well. Really appreciate that. And also, if you noticed, I also put on, if you're on Facebook right now, I got to get my shameless plug out of the way. So if basically, I do not charge for my work, but I do put up links to donations. And a lot of you have been consistent with that. I know who you are, and I am eternally grateful and humble by that. I can't express enough how much gratitude that I have, because of, it's not because you're donating, but it's because you trust my work, you appreciate my work. And to me, that goes a long way, and that makes me keep going, want to do what I want to do. So again, the links there on Facebook, you can see them right now. By the way, we're also streaming on YouTube. I don't advertise that because YouTube always shuts me down. They don't like things that I bring up. And I'm sure tonight I'll get shut down because there's a couple things I'm going to bring up that I'm sure it's going to cause a red flag, but I really don't care. I have a couple accounts over there. So, all right, let's do this. Let's go to your comments. All right. Let me get rid of my name there. All right. So let's go to a few of your comments here. All right. All right. So Tammy's in the house tonight. Excellent. And we got everybody here. Lindsay. All right. Patrick says he's all charged up. Welcome to the show, Patrick. It's good to see you again. I may sound a little sappy or whatever the word you want to use is, but man, I am so grateful for you guys for being a part of this community. And like I've said on my Facebook page, that is just not about me running that page. Sure, I run the page, but it's your page as well, because you guys create a community there. So, all right. Hey, Ren, Irene. All right. Loud and clear. That means you guys can hear me. Okay. That's good. That's good. Oh, hey, Kim. How are you? All right. Bye, Kevin. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second. We're gonna get into a few stories. I'd like to get your feedback tonight. I'd like to do a show to where I get your feedback on the air. You have to be on Facebook. You can also comment on Rumble. Right now, you can interact on Rumble as well amongst yourselves. And let's see what else we got here. Hey, Megan, everybody's in the house. All right. All right. It's Tammy again. All right. Oh, thank you. Look and sound great. I feel great. I feel great. I've used I sprinkled a bunch of holy water on me. So no, I appreciate that. I get all kinds of things in the mail. I have holy water here, and came from, where'd it come from? Oh, it came from here in Ohio, in Canton, Ohio. Football Hall of Fame's over there. And I feel good. I feel really good. I know I post. A lot of times when I post, you try to get the emotion across. I can't always accomplish that, if you will. But I did post the other day, and I know a lot of people have been following me, and I don't want to turn the show into that. Let's go get off this real quick. But I feel much better. I'm thinking clearer. If you're new, I had a medical emergency recently. I had a small stroke and a couple other things on top of that. And I was pretty rough for a while. And I've been recovering, and I feel really good. So I've changed my whole lifestyle as well. Tonight's show, it's really not, but cheap plug. Sparkling ice. I love this stuff. So this is the kiwi strawberry. My daughter turned me on to this. And it is flavored sparkling ice water. It's got all kinds of good nutrients in it. If you read the back, if you're ever in the grocery store, pick it up. And no sugar. And that's the biggest thing. I love this stuff here. I replaced that with pop. I drink regular water. I drink my the sparkling ice water. I've changed my and this is good to talk about because there are going to be some shows coming up here in 2024. Okay. And I'll keep your comments going. And we're gonna, because you guys have asked before about do a show on, and I haven't forgotten these things. I've made plenty of notes. And you said do a show on uh you know different things for healthy foods, going into this whole new world, which I believe we're going into. Okay. And bringing some guests on, which I've been in contact with some folks talking about it and throwing some ideas around. And so going into the new year, I'd like to do that, and to where you come in and we can share your ideas, gardening tips and all that. I'm not going to make it into like a home and garden show or like that, but just real good ideas, and also implementing natural remedies as well. I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to use the Dr. Google or everybody's a doctor, like in prison, everybody's a jailhouse lawyer. So anyways, and people have reached out to me and asked me to do that. So we're going to do that. So we're going to kind of have talk about the food, growing your own food type of thing, and what's good to eat, what's healthy, staying away from all the crazy cabal food. And we know what Bill Gates is doing, and we know he's buying up all the farmland. I've seen a crazy story today about cows and everything else. It's madness out here. It's really madness. And there's also a rush to get, I mean, there is a rush for artificial intelligence right now. It's like a runaway train. And that is pretty alarming to say the least. So, all right. So let's do this. Would love to see a show. Megan says, I'd love to see a show on healthy eating. I'm diabetic as well. Always looking for suggestions. Yeah. Speaking of diabetic, let me tell you something. I have cut out sugar. Okay. There's a few things that you can't get away from. You have a little bit of sugar in it. And that's okay. But now I'm reading labels like a madman. But I have cut out sugar, and I feel so much better. I don't feel as sluggish at all anymore. I'm still getting my energy back and going through some iron infusions. My coffee in the morning, I love my coffee. I got to have my coffee. I should have had a cup here, but now I don't add all that the cream and sugar I used to put in. I love cream and sugar. And I have the flavor creamers and everything else. So I can stomach it black, which I did for a little while once I got out of the hospital. But now I'm using the zero sugar with a little bit of creamer, the powdered creamer, no sugar, or no non-fat as well. And I have a substitute that I'm using. It's that Splenda with the S word. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it's not in front of me right now. It's a great substitute, and I've done my research on that because that particular brand has it's good. It won't affect you because some of the sweeteners can affect diabetics. I read and mess with their insulin intake and everything. So, but I feel so much better with cutting out sugar. Oh my goodness gracious! And I think it was I said it too, stevia. Yes, yes, yes. That's it. I have that. Yes, correct. Correct. You guys got it. That's what I have. Um, so and I'll even put it on even with my cereal too, if I'm eating what I pretty much have like, the plain sugar-free Cheerios and put it on there and just add bananas to it. So um, it's an exciting time right now because I wanted to go into 2024 after this scare. God gave me a timeout and said, kind of smacked me across the head and say, it's time for you to wake up, take these things seriously when it comes to your health. And that's what I'm doing right now. I feel good. I lost 17, like, what did I say? 24 pounds. 17 was the first one, and then 7. Yeah, 24 pounds. So I feel incredible. So, okay. Yes, correct. Got to watch that as well. So you got to watch your intake and everything else and cut down on it. And I'm a madman on my proteins too. So it's fun. It's actually gotten to the point now where I was miserable for some time. And I'm saying these things because I'm not trying to make it about me, but I'm trying to encourage people out there. And I know New Year's is coming right now. And I know a lot of people make New Year's resolutions and most people don't stick to them and they fall by the wayside. You go good for the first 1, 2, 3, maybe 30 days and it goes to the wayside. I'm so guilty of that. But this time, I'm not making no New Year's resolutions. I'm just doing it. I've always said the greatest slogan ever, believe it or not, was by Nike. Just do it. And that is a good life lesson. Just do it. Don't think about it too much. Just do it. So, all right, let's get to again, in case you just tuning in. I know I'm looking at the numbers a lot are. I'll play this clip once more and then we'll play a few clips. We'll talk about a few things. And here was this breaking news this morning.
And breaking news now, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is leaving the House. He will not seek re-election. And he details this and announces it in a Wall Street Journal opinion editorial. And he says, I'm leaving the House, but not the fight. My work is only getting started in my next chapter. I'm an optimist. How could I not be? I'm the son of a firefighter. For 17 years, I served in the same congressional seat, the same office in which I was once denied an internship. Only in America, he says. Now, you'll remember it took him north of a dozen votes to get the speaker seat. And then once...
Okay, that's enough of that. So in the comments, if you're on Facebook right now, what do you think about McCarthy stepping away and resigning in the beginning of the year, come 2024? So it'll be this month. So he's stepping down. And then I'd like to bring something up too as well. So let's go to your comments here. Let me see your comments on Facebook. What are your thoughts on this news today with Kevin McCarthy, who is stepping away? There is another video clip. It is on my Facebook page. I don't have it loaded into the show tonight, but at the same time, he put on a bunch of dramatics about, he did a whole video, and this is interesting, and talked about, he didn't announce what his next endeavor in life was, but he just left it at that. He's stepping away. So Stacy says that he made a deal. That's quite interesting. because that's a great segue in what I'm about to go into, and I'm going to throw something at you guys. All right. Let's see. He is my representative, and I'm glad to see him go. Time for new blood. We live in the reddest part of California, Kern County. All right. Reduces the Republican majority, so question his timing. All right. That's interesting that you say that. Diane says, I'm sure he was made to leave. And then this is perfect right here. And Mark says, there's that number 17 again. It's quite interesting, Mark, that you bring that up, because I'm going to bring up I better watch it. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm going to bring up a 17 drop. First of all, 17 years Kevin McCarthy served, okay? And he was the 55th Speaker of the House. 17 years, 55th Speaker of the House. 5-5. Let's take a look here. Drop 24. Any person making statements they will not be seeking re-election was put in submission. For the betterment of the country, not all will be prosecuted and all will do as told. You will see more of this occur, not normal yet disregarded. And even on the D side, do you see what they said there at the end? Even on the D side. So they pretty much told you the Republican side right there. Quite interesting that you put the 17 and the 55 together. He steps down today to end the year. And drop 24 would, I don't know. It's just an educated guess by the drops. I don't know. There was no match to this. I didn't find a match or a timestamp, but I found what with McCarthy stepping away, and then I did see those numbers 17 and 55 and put that together. So the question is he possibly, did he make a deal like somebody said in here? We don't know. We don't know those things. A lot of people say all the time, like, when drops are posted, or like when Scavino has a timestamp and those type of things, and then I put them on my page, for example, people say, what does this mean? Well, it's not all the time that we can tell you what it means, because we don't know ourselves. But what I just did for you was I gave you enough to say, hey, look at the 17, the 55, and the 55, of course, if you're not familiar with that, the drop 5-5. Okay, on the 17 drops is the famous one that everybody is waiting for. Look to Twitter. This, my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. And it doesn't say that Donald Trump will say that. Okay, my money's on him to say that, of course. But it could also be something like somebody else, like maybe Elon himself. Who knows? So we'll get into that in a minute, because I think I'm going to say this. Elon has been not only red pilling people, but bringing up some things. Okay. This is how I wanted to close the show, and I'm going to make sure I do. Bringing up some things that are coming back into the consciousness of people right now, and people like us who know about things like, where am I? I'm on YouTube too, where they say things like pizza/gate. Okay. He brought up the Red Cross recently. Last night, of course, the other one too was he's bringing up Epstein now. The timing of everything is something else. I have said time and time again to buckle up. The clock is ticking, and it is really ticking right now. And I'll say this, and I'll lead into why it's ticking. Okay. Because things have happened today alone. Yes, Bill Johnson is still speaker. Correct. Okay. I'd like to say something else real quick before it escapes my thought process here. So Kevin McCarthy steps down, and I'm well aware that what Matt Gaetz, his involvement was. We were up very late. You guys were up very late with me when they were doing the votes, and it went, what was it, 15 rounds with Kevin McCarthy to get the speakership, and I was streaming it live. I remember that night clearly because we were up late, and because I was getting to the point like, come on already, I gotta get off the air. But hello everybody, I see your comments, fantastic. Welcome aboard if you're just joining. Welcome, and everybody who's watching on Rumble as well. Welcome you also. But I'd like to say something, and I'd like to redact my thought process and my opinion on somebody as well. People like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, they're the young blood right now in all the rhinos. Okay. I seen a comment today where somebody said, "Oh, Gates is next to be exposed," and I thought to myself, "This is why I'm bringing this up." I thought, "Exposed for what? Exposed for what?" Okay, we have to put some trust in some of these people. All right, we have to. I think Matt Gaetz is doing a good job. I think sometimes he's got great confidence. I do think sometimes that his ego gets the best of him, and that's understandable. I've been there. I understand you got to balance confidence and also keep your ego in check. And we can I'm guilty of it in the past where the next thing I know, I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that or approached that subject that way. I think that was my ego talking. So Matt's still young, but I like Matt. Okay. I will say that there was a time that I was questioning Marjorie Taylor Greene as well on a couple things. I just some red flags went up. It had nothing to do with corruption or that craziness, but it just some of the things that were brought up. I don't want to bring those up, but I was just like, I don't know about this. And a couple times she did. I won't allow. She did piss me off a little bit, but that it doesn't mean you get rid of those people automatically and you stop trusting them. No, we all, have a difference of opinion. We make mistakes sometimes, but I'll tell you this. I think we need people like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene. First of all, who am I to say anything? Because they're doing it. They're about action and they're doing the action right now. Uh, I see Marjorie Taylor Greene over there trying to do everything she can and getting as little help as possible. I know that feeling. So she probably feels like the lone man or the lone person on the totem pole. So hats off to Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These people are the future of what is the Republican Party. And we're in the process of draining the swamp. Okay. Was Kevin McCarthy part of that swamp? I don't know. I just threw a few connections out there. I really don't know. Was Kevin McCarthy just a fool? Maybe. Okay. I think there's a difference between, I thought Matt Gaetz had more confidence. The difference between being confident and being cocky. I think Matt Gaetz had way more confidence than Kevin McCarthy. I thought Kevin McCarthy was cocky. Just my opinion. Okay. So, as the news said, Kevin McCarthy is stepping down here this month. And we'll see what happens. I can care less what he's going to do, but at the same time, we'll keep an eye on things there. So let's go here. Oh, real quick, let's do this. Okay, I'll end the show with that and that on a feel good note as well. I want to make sure I got this in here. Hold on one second. Yes, I have that. Okay, so we'll do this. All right. Oh, hey, check this out. I wanted to put this up right after when my podcast, you see my show opener, the Bruce Snyder podcast, and then as soon as that's done, bam, you see me on your screen, right? Check out what happened today at the BBC. You could see the countdown. All right, ready to go live on the air, and watch the woman reporter get caught.
Live from London, this is BBC News. Britain.
Well, there you go. She got caught flipping the bird to the UK there. I love it. So, the BBC is terrible. The BBC is terrible. I just want to throw that in for fun. Okay, so, all right, so let's go here. All right. I'd like to say something. This is just my thoughts. I know, and I'll say the biggest post for me today. We'll talk about at the end here, which is amazing. I'm just writing it down so we don't forget that. It's going to be fun. All right, so this here, what you're looking at, let's roll it. Well, there is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson leaving. Forgot where he was. Was it the Pentagon today? Meeting with military leaders.
Thank you. How are you?
And there he goes. Okay, so, and then, of course, the soldiers. Now, check this out. See, the soldiers are absolutely starstruck, for sure. Understandable. I get it. Okay, and FYI, if you guys don't know, I am a lifelong huge, okay, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Oh, yeah, I grew up with that. I still watch till today. But anyways, so Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson the other day, and I didn't post anything about that. I've seen the interview, and apparently he went on record to say that he's been approached by both parties asking him to run for president. Now, he did say in that interview that he was flattered, if I remember correctly. And he also said that he has no interest in getting into politics, and it's just not for him. Same with me. I could say that too. I'm never going to get into politics. Forget that dirty game. But and then I posted it on my page, and of course, and we could do this too. Let's do this. Actually, I just go on here, and there was an overwhelming amount of comments. So I could take a look at them right now. And a lot of people said, "What a joke! Oh goodness." Let's see. No way. I'll never vote for him. Making a bunch of fun. I get it. I totally understand. I'm in the same court with you. Is it April Fool's Day? A lot of funny memes. And okay. There we go. So Bob Ward wins the comment, and this is I'm only reading this for the first time. So let me do this. A comment on my page from Bob Ward says, "You're all missing the point." I agree, Bob. They want this to happen. These are Bob's words. They want this to happen so it will draw votes from Trump. There are surely not many, but in the entirety of the United States, there are many that would be swayed by his charm and looks. 100% right. When I saw that video clip of The Rock walking out there, just having a meeting with military leaders after they've been talking about asking him to run for president, I thought, uh-oh. Now, to us, it looks like a joke. Of course, we're not going to vote for him. I get it. But there's a country out there right now. Now, if you go look at a lot of people, there's a lot of people like some crazy lunatics out there, like Michael Rappaport and who's some of the other ones out there. It escapes me right now. But a lot of people on the left who absolutely hate Trump, and they'll still hate him. All right. But they will not vote for Biden. And if it comes down to it, they're going to vote for Trump because they despise Biden now and what they're doing, because it's hitting them hard in their pocketbook. Throw in, exactly right, the first thing that went through my mind when I saw that today was my mind, the way it works, I went right to the editing room, like I was in a video editing bay, and give me all the footage you want, and let's cut this masterpiece up and just run with it. And they can't do that with Biden, but you bring in someone like that, okay, they can manipulate the daylights out of people, then manipulate the college kids. He'll win the entertainment machine vote, the majority of it. So, and they'll be taking votes away. Correct. 100%. That is a threat. To us, it looks like a joke. I don't see it as a joke. It is a joke to me, but it's damn scary at the same time to think if they could pull that off, because he's already said, I don't want to run. So he knows nothing about what's going on in the world to run the country. But again, this is about talking about the deep state, getting somebody with charm, looks, celebrity status, the Rock, big muscular guy type thing, and taking on the world. They can just, the PR campaign for that is just going to be off the charts if that happened. You understand what I'm talking about here? Okay. So it is a threat. As silly as it seems and ludicrous as it seems, it's still a threat. Look, they got a walking corpse in the White House right now. It can't get any worse. All right. So that's my opinion on that. I'm looking at you guys in the comment. Yeah, sure. I get it. There's some comments I'm not going to bring up. I just like to put a disclaimer out there. Okay. You guys know that I'm not a guy that I don't jump on the certain trains, because I don't like, I work extremely hard at bringing you the truth and real news. You'll never see me posting certain things about a person and saying this person's a man, this person's a woman, this person's a pedophile, those type of things. Because I need facts and I need proof. I don't rely on the majority opinion on the internet, because people are saying it. I am not a follower, but I'm a realist. I'm a person who stays reserved. I'm very open to it, and I know it's terrible, and I know a lot of people what they are involved in. There are names that I could probably name right now. We can go down the Epstein thing, and then we're gonna roll into Epstein now in a minute here. But I don't do that, and I can't do that, and you will never come to my social media accounts and have me putting things up saying this person's a man, this person's wearing a mask, or this person is this, and without any proof. That will never happen. Now, if you want that stuff to be sensationalized, you need to go to another account. So that's just the way it is. That kind of stuff there is now. I don't want people to misunderstand me. Okay. I'm all for getting rid of the people who are involved. I understand about Hollywood, okay? And I understand like everything we've all been down that rabbit hole. We know. But there are some crazy, crazy allegations out here that I'll never be a part of. Never be a part of. And if a time comes for the world to know, if it's disclosed publicly to the general public, that this person did the ABC crimes, or this person is not really a woman, but they were born a man. And I see it every single day, not just on my page, everywhere. And I don't engage with that talk. Okay. Because right now that doesn't serve any purpose to what we should be focused on right now. And we should be focused right now on saving the republic, the United States of America. That is our main goal right now. It is less than a year away from the presidential election, and I'm still going on record to say there's a possibility it won't happen on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. I'm on there. I'm on the same boat with Douglas McGregor, and even General Flynn has said it as well. There is some crazy stuff going on right now, and I think yes, I agree. conspiracy theorists have been correct. You are correct about that, okay? But at the same time, I'm just not jumping on a certain train with allegations about people that I just don't have any evidence or proof from it. I can't do that. It's just who I am. And I think you guys understand that. And that's okay. You guys I don't tell you guys what to do, how to think or what to write. I'm just talking about me right now. And I have to be extremely responsible with that. So the only time that there are times that sometimes I put a post up, like the only time I'll delete, well, besides trolls and spam and that crazy stuff, when somebody posts something and it's absolutely a link to something that's so 1000% propaganda untrue, I'll delete it. And I even go out of my way to message that person to say, hey, I took it down. I point out to them, here, this is why it's not true. And I explain to them. So it's not like I'm just being a police on my comments. I don't care what you guys put on there, except don't use the certain keywords that get me thrown off of Facebook. That's a no too. So, all right. Now let's go into this one. Let's if you haven't seen this, it was on my page. Let's do it again. I have the videos lined up here. So what we're going to go from Epstein right now, the flight logs. We're going to go into the border, and then I'm going to end on a good note. And then the third one I got to do is what happened today with Garland coming out and war crimes against Russia and the timing of all that. And then, of course, a couple clips of Putin over in Abu Dhabi. So if you haven't seen it last night, Jesse Waters had on RFK Jr., and he admits that he's been on Epstein's plane. All right. It's quite amazing. It's pretty amazing. And if he ever sees this, okay, it's awfully scary because there is one person out there. It's like they read my thoughts after news breaks. And it's quite scary. Okay. But in a good way. But this person always posts something immediately after, like I pretty much do, and breaks it down into a great intellectual point of view, if you will. All right. And that person is BioClandestine on Telegram, or War Clandestine, same person on X, Twitter X. Him and I are on the same page. It's very eerie, and especially when something goes down. So yesterday, this Jesse Waters clip with RFK Jr., I listened to it closely, and I had an instant opinion before I even wrote anything. And I was like, because I let it simmer for a little bit. I like to process my thoughts. And I saw BioClandestine post. I'm like, he just took the words right out of my mouth. It was amazing. Before I get into that, let's play the clip.
Did you, as president, fire the FBI director?
Well, I would certainly question him about these issues. Now, I think you were right to point out
Okay. Hold on one second. It's just a couple seconds ahead. Let me get it. I forgot to say the one question. We don't need that question right now.
This country, if somebody's a Democrat or Republican, they get treated equally.
The Bureau. You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and then on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and Mary, my wife, to Rapid City, South Dakota, to go fossil hunting for a weekend. And but otherwise, I was never on his jet alone. I've been very open about this from the beginning. This was in '93, so it was 30 years ago. It was before anybody knew about Jeffrey Epstein's, his nefarious issues. And I agree with you that all of this information should be released. And we should get real answers on what happened to Jeffrey Epstein and any of the high-level political people that he was involved with. All of that should be open to the public. It should be absolutely transparent. And, I don't see why any of those records would have any redactions in them. Why would we be hiding that from the American public?
Well, you might not even
outrageous.
Get a chance to do that because Mark Elias, the hotshot Democrat election attorney, is trying to basically kick you off ballots. What's going on there?
Well, I think both the Democrat and Republican Party are going to try to get me off the ballots. We're in the middle now of a ballot access petition drive, so we have to get 1 million Americans to sign petitions to get me on the ballots in the various states. People who want to sign up to get me on the ballot can go to Kennedy24.com and sign up now.
Okay, we'll stop it right there. So, first of all, for the record, you saw it was at the end there, okay? They don't like him. That party does not like him. Democratic Party does not like him, and they find him as a threat. Just like JFK himself. I did post yesterday that I was in agreement with BioClandestine's post, and he basically said, took the words right out of my mouth, that he gave you the time frame. I appreciate his honesty. Even Trump is recorded on the flights, okay? This is way before the knew of Jeffrey's background and what was going on before that even came public. This was the early 90s, of course. We all know that what happened with Trump, when Trump found out, when the news broke and it started to become public, or in the inner circle of the rich world community, the wealthy community, that Trump threw him out of Mar-a-Lago and banned him, and now separated himself totally. Did the absolute right thing, okay? My goodness, if there was dirt there, the Democrats would have dug it up by now. But also, I'm on the same page as there's going to be people on those flight logs that had absolutely nothing to do with the island. Okay, this goes back to my previous rant about I don't get into about without any proof or allegations and just throwing it out on the internet just because I could type it and say this person's this and this person's that without any concrete proof, and I don't do that. Same thing here. We're getting into such a scary. We're getting into a very dangerous area right now. And I've caught myself a couple times doing this to where we're rushing to judgment immediately based on our emotions, and we're forgetting what country we live in because you are innocent until proven guilty. But that we all already know that on the lunatic liberal left side, that's the opposite. You're guilty until proven innocent. But I'm noticing on our side an awful lot of people falling into that hole as well, into that type of thinking and rushing too quickly and being judgmental and condemning people right away, because I think it has a lot to do with our frustrations. Well, we want to see things done. We want to see people get arrested. I get it. I'm with you. I'm behind that. Okay. So at the same time, I don't think it's wise for us to just condemn people right away. We need, just like Donald Trump would post all the time, law and order. And law and order means you're innocent until proven guilty. I am not defending these people whatsoever, but part of me believes, yes, and like Esther just said, discernment. And my discernment right now tells me I believe RFK. I do. I really do. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think he had anything to do with it. All right. And there's going to be people who have been on those flight logs that had nothing to do with the Epstein Island thing. All right. Now, if you go what Bill just says right here, everything on Epstein Island was logged and recorded. From what I understand, that is correct. Okay. The public found out about all the video cameras and everything that was recorded. And that's the stuff that I don't know if I need to see that, but at all. But at the same time, I'm with RFK. I'm with you guys in the public, and I believe all that needs to be released. I do, and I think this is part of my opinion before my closing statement. I think what we're going. This is my guess. So go ahead and screenshot this, screen record it, whatever you got to do. All the years since Trump came down that escalator, okay? You tell me if this makes sense in the comments, all right? Since Trump came down that escalator, and then to the moment he was elected as president, and then they spent 4 years in the White House, he did nothing but expose the swamp, okay? And his famous, besides Make America Great Again, was drain the swamp. Well, in order to drain the swamp, he had to expose the swamp. And it got so easy for him because they went absolutely insane, as you know, that he didn't even have to do anything anymore. All he had to do was sit back and put a few words on and type it on Twitter at the time. And they went ballistic. They exposed themselves. They got to a point where they laid all their cards on the table. And now the world knows how dirty they are. Even the people who are asleep right now, they know. They may not admit it, but they know. Okay. So he spent all that time doing that. Now, you guys listening to me right now, the majority of us, I would say, we have been waiting patiently. We are either been awake a long time, like myself, or you're fairly new awake, maybe the past 2-3 years. And our patience is running out. Okay. It's running out to the point now because this is why I post some hopeful posts to create a spark and to ignite in you. I am blessed to be able to write. And when I write, I don't lie. And what I mean by that, even when I put up posts of inspiration and hope, that comes from my heart. That doesn't come from some textbook or anything. That comes from my experience, my strength, and my own hope. And I put that out there. Okay. So he exposed the swamp. All right. And then we're running out of patience and we want to see time. And it goes back what I just said. We cannot fall into the trap of guilty until proven innocent. No. Take a step back. Take a deep breath. Okay. There are still a lot of good people caught in the mix right now. They're in the swamp. So like an RFK right now, you may not agree with all of his viewpoints or his political points, his political talking points. Right? And that's okay. That's what makes this country great because we can agree to disagree. But it doesn't mean that he's a pedophile because he took a flight with his family on Epstein's plane. All those millionaires and wealthy fat cats rubbed elbows with each other. And that's just the way it was. Okay. I've never been in that bracket, that tax bracket. I'm sure many of us haven't either. And if you are in that wealthy tax bracket, be sure to donate to Bruce Snyder, the dude, an independent news reporter. Bam, I had to throw that one in there. So, and that's where we're at now. And here's my prediction. It's a screen record. I have been posting about the clock is ticking. I started posting that just before November 5th. I started posting in October. I know exactly when I did. Okay. I started posting in October saying a clock is ticking. You can't see it, but it's there. It's really there. Now we are less than a year away from the election. I think right now, what we are witnessing, if you really truly just take off the blinders and open your eyes. And I know it's very difficult because we've been so patient for all these years for something to happen. All right. I'm starting to see it every single day now that here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the Democrats scramble. Their playbook is completely, they've used up every play in the book. Every play in the book has been used up. And now, what are they running with in all the major networks right now? That Trump is going to be a dictator the moment he walks in, and he's a Hitler and all this other stuff. It's so boring. It is so boring. It's a lot. It's past the point of laughable. I am bored. Okay. They have come up with some really good ones in the past to where I would be like, wow, that's crazy. But now I'm bored because they've got nothing left in their arsenal. Nothing left is in their tank. And they're just, I mean, look at what I showed you just a few minutes ago. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, meeting with military leaders, perhaps asking him to run for president. I don't think he's meeting with military leaders just because he's making a stop to say hello. Okay. I do not think that Biden will run for president. I think he will run for president up to a point. And when that point comes, which may be as late as August, September of 2024, and something's going to happen. That's my prediction. So there's number one prediction. The second one, like I was kind of just explaining, is that things are starting to happen now. And these things are going to unfold. And what we're seeing is things like, okay, the Epstein, I think that's going to get released somewhere in 2024 because it's going to destroy so many people. That is arsenal for Donald Trump. There's no question about it. If you go back to what he said, we have it all. We caught them all. We're waiting for the reveal of that. And we're still waiting. But what are we waiting on? Why are we waiting so long? The simple answer for me is that we're waiting on for a certain amount of percentage because we're putting up polls every day. And you go on True Social and the polls, and it's climbing and climbing and climbing. He's up 62% today or whatever it was, Trump leading. Those poll numbers are bigger than just poll numbers. Those are actual numbers of the Great Awakening. That's what that is. Those are numbers. You can literally watch the numbers of the Great Awakening happening on a daily basis. And that is what Trump is putting out. I understand he's running for president. I get that. And he's running away with this thing. There's no question about it. But it's happening. The Great Awakening is happening before our very eyes. And this is what you and I right now are waiting on. We're waiting for a certain peak number. And now it's two things. The number is growing, correct? Yes, 100%, Aaron. We do not need civil unrest. This is what we're trying to avoid. Okay? We have to go back and remember everything that we learned along the way, from the 17 drops to what we were told to what Donald Trump said in 2016, 2015, 2016, 2017. Okay? What he said at his inauguration, the day he stepped into office on January 20th of 2017. That famous speech. This is simply not another 4-year election, and it hasn't been. It's been 4 years of Trump since then, since January 20th, 2017. It's been 4 years of Trump. Well, it's not 4 years yet, 3. It's been 3 years of Trump in the Biden administration. Think about that, what I just said. It's been 3 years of Trump in the Biden administration. And he didn't have to do a darn thing because these people cannot stop talking about him. They got everything they wanted. Okay? They were so happy to, okay, I got to watch my words here. They were so happy to win the election. And we know what, technically what happened. We all know. The world knows that. All right? But according to Fox News, that's crazy. They didn't steal that. I hate Fox News. So, okay. So those numbers are growing and you're seeing the Great Awakening before you. 3 years of Trump basically under the Biden administration, because I've said it before. I believe it had to be this way. and it had to be this way, was allowing this administration, the other side, to take, I got to use the word take, I want to watch my vocabulary, to take that election away from Donald Trump. I've said it till this day. If Donald Trump won the second election, things would be, yes, maybe the economy would be great. Things would be, but chaos would be worse. Chaos would be the rule of the day. There'd be more anarchy in the streets. Okay. There'd be way more anarchy in the streets, and people would be more crazier to get Trump, stop Trump. But now, no one's even caring about all these fake indictments on Trump. All right. No one's even doing that. The rhetoric about Trump has gone down. Yes, you get periodic trolls. They're paid bot trolls that come in the comments. Ignore that. That doesn't even count. All right. There are still some sleepers out there who despise Trump. I get that. It's nowhere near what it used to be. Excuse me. It had to be this way. And that's why I think this election under the Biden administration, the world needed to see this. Okay. You weren't going to wake up under Trump, no matter what he told you, even with concrete facts. Those people would have still hated him. Okay. Let Trump step out of the limelight. Let him step out. And here you go. This is what you wanted. Okay. Here it is on a silver platter. Here's Joe Biden. Here's your administration. Here's the first black woman vice president. All right. Here's everything you wish for. How's it going for you? It's a disaster. It's a train wreck. And now they know this. And again, it goes back to what I said. They know it. They secretly won't say nothing. Your friends, your family, okay, will not admit it yet. The majority. But they know. They know. There's no question about it. They're not going to be able to swallow things. Your friends and your family who are the sleepers, they're not going to be able to swallow things like the nothing can stop what is coming or the EBS and all this other stuff. That's too much for them. Okay? Lay off that stuff. Don't ever go down that road. That's my personal opinion. All right? Matter of fact, there's nothing you need to do. Just let the current state of the country and this administration do the red pilling for you. And that's what they're doing. That is what they're doing. Sure, there are a lot of people who still hate him till today. Absolutely. I am convinced again that Space Force is a big key part of all this. Huge part of all this. How come this administration has never acknowledged Space Force one time? Not one time. They despise it because Trump created it. He created a military branch that they want nothing to do with. And back, I think I got this number right. Back in April of 2022, I think it was. I could be wrong, but I think I'm close on the timeline. That's when the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines transferred all of their military, the control of their military satellites in space over to Space Force. Space Force runs the show right now. With a push of I posted something the other day. It was a meme where it said something to the effects that they were at Space Force, people walking around. They were like in a tunnel or something and visiting Space Force. And they said, these people don't even realize that with a push of a button, we control the ATMs. And we can turn them off like that. They could shut the whole country down. They control the communications, the internet, every aspect of your life. Boom. That's why I've always said they really wanted to. And if they came down to tribunals or red pilling the world, Space Force that Donald Trump put into place controls all of the communications. And that's all it's going to take. I'm still a big believer in that. I still see that could happen. I'm excited about it, to be honest with you. Our border. So real quick, I'll play just a small clip. Let's go into this. All right. And I'm going to end on the Great Awakening again. I started talking about it and screenshotting this. Okay. Because I believe things like the Epstein logs are going to come out. Okay. And here, real quick, before I hit play on that one, let me put up something here. All right. This is today. All right. And there it is right now. Comer and Jim Jordan put out the letter today to, I think it was Hunter's attorney, about him showing up next week, the 13th. He has to show up next week, the 13th, to Capitol Hill with the support of subpoena. Okay. And in the letter, it says, and it's on my Facebook page, it's on all my social media accounts, I believe. And it says if he doesn't show up, they clearly state in the letter that they will hold him in contempt. And I put on my page, I titled it, "Will CNN broadcast the raid live in the middle of the night?" That was a shot with when CNN was there at 4 a.m. with Roger Stone when they woke him. The FBI woke him up out of bed to arrest him. So that's why I said, "Oh, good, let's do it to Hunter." But quite interesting right there. And there you go. There's another little detail. I know a lot of you, it goes back to right now with our frustrations. You're saying, oh, he's not going to show. Nothing's going to happen. Granted, you may be right. You may be 100% right. Okay. We don't know now. This is the first time I've seen a letter state we're going to hold you in contempt. So I know Kash Patel talked about having an underground in Capitol Hill. There's an underground jail there, okay, that they can actually arrest people right on the spot if they're caught lying to Congress. I haven't seen it yet. I posted yesterday about all the talking points and all these Congress hearings. I'm sick of it, okay? Something has enough with the dancing. It's time to, it's time to get it on, put it that way. So there's another thing. So we're hearing about the Epstein logs. They're coming back into the public eye. We're seeing things. The border is another thing. That one there is red pilling the country by itself. And here's the interesting thing. Okay, so they're only going to Democratic cities, leaving Texas. Excuse me. And Abbott's bussing them out and shipping them to New York and Chicago and everywhere else in blue cities. So people are getting red pilled there just because of that. I watched Chicago, even New York, all of them actually, but Chicago, people have been going crazy over this, absolutely crazy. And they're saying they're never voting for. I seen one just yesterday where the lady said with a bunch of people, and she was on TV. We're never voting for the Democrat. It was a black woman, and she said, "I'm never voting for the Democratic Party again. We're not doing that ever again." People are waking up. They're waking up to the truth. Let's play a little clip with Bill Malugin here. I think it's Bill.
No, it's not stopping, Dana. The numbers are actually getting even worse. Multiple CBP sources telling me this morning in the last 24 hours, Border Patrol alone has made more than 10,000 apprehensions of illegal immigrants. That does not even include CBP ports of entry. And you can see the situation here in Lukeville behind us. We got well over 800 people waiting in line here after they crossed illegally overnight, waiting to be apprehended by Border Patrol. Once again, it's like deja vu from yesterday. You can see these guys are coming in from all over the world. A lot of African men, mostly single adult men here. Some of them were setting campfires overnight in the cold, camping out here, waiting to get taken into custody by Border Patrol. But CBP sources telling me in the last 24 hours in this Tucson, Arizona sector, there were almost 2,900 apprehensions, and the Border Patrol facilities out here are currently running 200% of their capacity. That is why there are so many people out here waiting to be taken into custody by Border Patrol. Now, Arizona has a Democrat governor. Her name is Katie Hobbs. She has not yet sent any state resources down here. No Arizona troopers, no Arizona National Guard. That's unlike what we've seen in the state of Texas with Governor Greg Abbott. Well, Governor Hobbs is calling for more federal action when it comes to helping in Arizona. Take a listen.
We need the federal government to act and provide more resources, and we've been very clear about that. There's a lot more they could be doing, both the Biden administration and again, I know this is beating the drum that we've been beating for decades, but we need comprehensive immigration reform to really thoroughly address this issue.
And as people continue pouring into the country, so too are narcotics. Take a look at this image out of Nogales, Arizona, a couple hours away from us. CBP officers at the port of entry there stopping a car and finding over 1 million fentanyl pills hidden in that smuggler's vehicle. Thankfully, they were able to seize that. Then we want to take you back to this video from yesterday. Take a look at this. We showed you these images yesterday of illegal immigrants pushing through a breach in the border wall that had been cut through by smugglers. This happened right in front of Border Patrol. All these people came spilling through the wall trying to take advantage of the situation. Then a human smuggler looks at our camera, gives us a shrug, and salutes us. Well, GOP presidential candidate, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, reacted to that video. He posted a tweet which says in part, quote, "The cartels are laughing at us now, but they won't be when I'm commander-in-chief. Any cartel operative caught cutting through the border wall will be left stone cold dead." And back out here live, that goes to one of his campaign promises, essentially saying if they see any cartel members bringing fentanyl in or cutting through the border wall, he will authorize the use of lethal force. And back out here, you can see this situation. It looks like Border Patrol's in for quite another busy day out here in Lukeville, which remains the epicenter of this border crisis.
Okay, that's enough. So yes, Katie Hobbs is weak. Well, we need reform. Reform. You need to close the border. Last night on Fox News with Hannity, where Trump was interviewed with Hannity, Sean Hannity, he asked him about day one in office, and he said, on day one, I'm going to close the border and drill, baby, drill. So back to drilling and closing the border. And closing the border absolutely means they're going to not only going to close the border, they're going to put the wall back up. They're going to finish the wall. They're going to implement what needs to be in place. Okay. I still say instead of make America great again, bring back common sense again is what we need, and bring back the adults. I'm looking forward to the day that the adults are back in charge. So that's what's going on. That is red pilling people themselves. People are being affected by it. They're being affected financially. They're being affected by crime now. It's even worse. And they're being affected by them coming into cities like Chicago and New York and California. And it's just madness right now. Now, I want to bring this up. So apparently, I also put up too, there is word, all right, that I heard some of it. I know I forgot who it was. Somebody spoke on the Hill and said that we have low attendance in our military right now, getting people to enlist. And apparently, which it doesn't surprise me, they want to give these people who are coming over the border. You just saw the video. They're all young men, in shape men of fighting age. And they want to give them, in order for them to get citizenship, they'd have to join the military. That is just unbelievable to me to even consider. All right. There's another one. Here we go. So we're going to get into this now, and we're going to close the show. Breaking news. Joe Biden raises the specter of American troops having to fight Russians in Europe if Congress stands by and allows Ukraine to fall. So what is going on? That is madness. And there it is again. So we're hearing about the people coming over, enlisting them in the army or into the military for citizenship. All right. That's the crazy plan. All right. And then Joe Biden, again, here it is, talking about American troops having to fight. What is he going to send? Well, let's hurry up and train these guys and let's send them over there. I have no idea what their plan is. All right. Well, this morning, I was getting ready to leave this morning. I had to step out and run an errand. And I look as I'm getting my coat on, and I see the bottom of the TV screen. I said, what? I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And this was what I saw as I was leaving. And let's play this.
The first ever charges under a U.S. war crime statute against 4 Russian-affiliated military personnel in what is described as heinous crimes against an American citizen. So drop on in here in D.C.
Kurchian, who was one of the commanding officers, and Valery and Nazar, the lower-ranking soldiers, and their co-conspirators. During the abduction, we allege that those defendants threw the victim to the ground while he was naked, tied his hands behind his back, pointed a gun at his head, and beat him with their feet, their fists, and the stocks of their guns. We allege that they forced him into a building that Russia-affiliated forces were using as a jail and into a closet that they were using as a jail cell. We allege that as they interrogated him, they tortured him. They beat him again with a gun. They punched him in his chest and stomach. They threatened to shoot him. They stripped off his clothes and took pictures. One of their conspirators threatened to sexually assault him. And during the interrogation, when the victim's answers did not satisfy the defendants, we allege that Budnik, who was also a commanding officer, threatened the victim with death and asked for his last words. We allege that Nazar and other conspirators then took the victim outside. There, they forced him to the ground, put a gun to the back of his head. The victim believed he was about to be killed. They moved the gun just before pulling the trigger, and the bullet went just past his head. After the mock execution, the victim was beaten and interrogated again. At one point, he was told through an interpreter that he was, quote, going to sleep. And he was told by McCutcheon, quote, good night, leading the victim to believe again that he was about to be killed. During his 10 days detained by Russia-affiliated forces, the victim in this case was tortured, threatened with sexual assault and execution, forced to perform manual labor, and beaten in the head, chest, and stomach with the soldiers' feet, their fists, and their guns. Again and again, he believed he was going to die. These charges against 4 Russia-affiliated military personnel are the Justice Department's first criminal charges under the U.S. War Crimes Statute. They are also an important step toward accountability for the Russian regime's illegal war in Ukraine. Our work is far from done. I want to recognize the criminal division.
Okay, enough of that. Well, he does his Academy Award moment. Thank everybody. Yeah, correct. Where or who makes up these stories? First of all, when I heard that, now if you listen to it, the dramatics are unbelievable. And when I listened to that this morning live, I thought, oh, here we go. All right. It's the timing is everything. All right. They just announced that the money's about to run out at the end of this month. The end of this year, the money runs out for Ukraine. Well, there it is right there. Okay. They're going to do that. This goes back to what I was saying earlier in the show tonight. The Democrats, their playbook has been run dry. They've used every play possible, and now they're reaching for scraps. And this is reaching for scraps. All right. What they're doing, you're looking at 100% Western propaganda right there. All right. Now, for the record, let me just say, of course, war is ugly. Of course, these types of things go on. You'd have to be a fool not to believe that. Okay. But the drama and the dramatics, okay, and the timing to bring up charges for war crimes, I don't know how they would get these 4 guys in the first place. All right. It is something else. And it also falls on apparently the same day today that we were supposed to try and do another prisoner swap. The guy that's what's his name? Wayland? I think his name's Wayland or whatever his name is over in Russia, that they're charging him with espionage. And we have a Russian as well in U.S. custody that we're charging him with being a Russian spy. So we got apparently two an American and a Russian, and we're both holding them, and we're going to make a swap. But Russia today said, nope, that ain't going to happen. Of course, they made the Brittany Griner trade for the Merchant of Death, the Lord of War, Victor, what's his name? Of course, you know, they can care less about Brittany Griner. It was like trading a farm player in baseball for, Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa. It was crazy. That was absolutely absurd. But now today they said, no, we're not going to do that. This comes out today. And also the timing, Putin is over in Saudi Arabia today. All right. And they come out why they knew that he was already gone in a plane and over there. This is all about money. Number one, it's all about money and funding of Ukraine. They know it's coming to the end. We're going to see more of this in every area, every faucet of whatever the topic is. We're going to see this every single day. And it's going to get crazier and crazier. buckle up for 2024. It's going to be a hell of a ride. And I'm going to be in the front seat of this roller coaster every step of the way with my hands in the air. I'm going to enjoy this immensely. I know it sounds like I'm a madman, but I am so excited to what's to come because what a time to be alive. This is unbelievable. I don't see doom and gloom. I see tough times right now. I get it. I know we're all I know I just went to the grocery store today. That's what I did. I went to the grocery store when I was getting my coat on and I saw that headline about war crimes for Russia in Ukraine. I'm like, what? And, and why now? I could put out, listen, okay? I could put out tons of videos since the beginning of the war of war crimes that I have personally in a file folder. All right. I have got so much stuff that would never make it onto definitely Facebook. It would never make it on here. And plus, I'm not a fan of putting out such violence out here, but I've seen it. And we got I gotta watch that word. We got Neo something with the N word and Neo, Heil over there. And you want to speak about war crimes? All right. They need to take a look at Ukraine. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. We have been indoctrinated since I was a kid that Russia is the big bad bear. I grew up in grade school running as duck and cover drills under a desk, thinking the Russians are going to blow us up. That never happened. Okay. It's really unbelievable to me that now that I'm grown up, I'm awake and I'm wiser and I'm an adult and I can think for myself and I don't need anybody else to tell me how to think because I can choose my own thoughts and make my own decisions to what I'm aware of and what I understand now today. Look, there's a Tom McDonald song out there who says that every flag is covered in a little bit of blood. That's absolutely true. Every flag is covered in some sort of blood. Nobody's hands are clean at this point in time. But I'll tell you this much. I really pay attention to Russia and the surgence of BRICS right now and what they're doing, the alignment and the alliances they have made with Saudi Arabia, with Russia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, and China, India, and I can keep going, and it's growing. And I know for a fact that BRICS, their number one thing is just to cut the head off the snake, and that is the United States of America. That is no longer to be dependent on the United States of America, and that's why they're changing over and breaking away from the U.S. dollar. And it's happening in real time, right before our eyes. That's why Trump needs to get back in there. I know Dan Bongino the other day talked about it. I know many people, Tucker talked about it, about the upcoming year is going to be like nothing we as the people have ever seen before. We're going to be a part of history. We're going to see things we've never seen or least expected. And it's coming. I can't sit here and predict and tell you exactly what those things are going to be. But, all I can tell you right now, I see a lot of exposure coming and a lot of the stuff we've been waiting for. I'm not saying the arrests, that big part of it. Okay. I'm not saying the arrests. I'm saying exposure in a bigger grand scale than ever before with proof this time, because we got a lot of people who are awake now. Okay. On the other side. And it's going to be, we're getting to a point where the people are not going to be able to ignore it. And even the mainstream media, there's no way they're going to be able to ignore it. That is all coming right now. Now, if you look at Russia today, if you look at Putin, all right, this is Putin. Check this out. All you have to do is get a mental image in your brain right now of Biden walking down a flight of steps from Air Force One. Now, let's look at Putin today. He doesn't need the rail. Walks down there perfectly vibrant. There he is. And I don't have the video loaded. You can see some of it on my page. There's other videos out there too. They put on a grand parade for this man today. Remember the fist bump when Biden met with the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia? I'll play this a few times because it's only 3 seconds long. This is Putin today meeting with the Crown Prince. Look at that. Yeah, there's a still right there. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know right now compared to when Biden was there, we are the laughing stock of the world right now. The absolute laughing stock. Yes, I'll tell you what. I listened to the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia recently, and as much as I despise Brett Baer, I don't know how Brett Baer landed this interview, but if you haven't seen it recently, Brett Baer at Fox landed an interview with the Crown Prince, and I got to give credit where credit was due. It was very good, and the plans that the Crown Prince has, is quite amazing. Is quite amazing right now. So all you have to do is go on and search that. Just put in Brett Baer interview with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and it'll come up. Listen to that. It's quite impressive right now. And these people know these are not dumb people. Okay. Even though there are things to be concerned about, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, the Crown Prince of Saudi, these are not tyrants. These are not the people that they're grooming you to believe they are. They're very intelligent people. At least they can think, all right? And they're surrounded by an incredible think tank. These people know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're smart people. This comes to the part where you got to kind of know your enemy. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. You just don't lie about it. Anybody who walks around in this country right now and just says, oh, yeah, Russia invaded Ukraine and Putin's a dictator and a tyrant. You are dumb beyond a box of rocks. You're dumb as a box of rocks. Dumb. You're a fool. You're a fool for not taking the time to look into the truth. Merrick Garland just now on that video I just played just said the illegal war of Russia when they invaded Ukraine. Well, if you really want a history lesson, you go backwards and you look at the history and you look at everything that's led up to it. And it goes all the way back from Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Well, that's the time when the international community said, no more in Russia, no more advancement of NATO towards Russia. Okay. But that didn't happen. Enter, the Bushes, the Bill Clinton, everybody else, and they kept inching closer and closer and closer to Russia. No, but the average John Q public doesn't realize that. All they see is they feed. Listen to me. They feed off of what they are told. We are living in a society now where everything is instantaneously at the push of a button. And they're reading sensationalized headlines, and they are sheep and followers. And that's exactly what they're doing. They just follow without doing any research. That is exactly why everybody had a Ukraine. Well, this is over with, just like the Me Too movement, where what happened to that, just like everybody had a Ukraine flag in their bio and everything else. And then if you didn't support Ukraine, you were a Putin sympathizer and you were pro-Russia and pro-Putin. And I've gone on record to say, I'm staying neutral, just like Israel and Hamas right now. I'm staying neutral, totally neutral. But I can tell you this much. See, I'm not rooting for Russia per se at all. What I'm saying is I see a lot more common sense and very smart plans that are in effect for Russia and their viewpoints and their values for their own country and their people. Again, I know there's bad stuff going around. You can talk about China, bad stuff, Russia, bad stuff. I get that. But we are at the point now where the bottom line is that we have grown up. I'm 54 years old. We have grown up as the world police on the world stage. We are the world police. And then when I got to be old enough, I asked myself, why? Why are we the world police? You know, where is China? Where is Russia? And they're never getting involved at all. And here we are. And this is why they want to cut the head off the snake. And I'm for that. Okay. I'm not saying destroy the U.S. because what still exists in this country is patriotism. The love of this country is still there. I believe that. It's absolutely there. What needs to be cut off is the government. The current government, like Donald Trump walked in and said, drain the swamp. And that is it. The head of the snake is the swamp, tied to the deep state, tied to the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, the FBI, the DOJ, and whatever three-letter agency you want to throw out there. It's all tied together. And here we are in the final hour, in the last quarter, the final year. And here's the end of my prediction. Okay, and then I'll end with, I'm going to end here. I'm going to give you my prediction. I'm going to throw up, we're going to throw up I'm going to throw up a little graphic here, a little picture, and then I'm going to end with a really cool video that I saw when I came on the air, and then we're going to get out of here. Okay. So again, back to the part, this is the Great Awakening. I believe that. I don't believe in my heart that it's so bad. And I know people go in the comments and says, you know, they make fun of saying white hats in control because they're seeing the doom and gloom and the bad news stories on a daily basis. And they're going to continue for a little while. Okay. They're going to continue. This is where we got to separate, the men from the boys. All right. We have to separate the men from the boys and the girls from the women. All right. This is where it's time to strap up your boots, dig your heels in. All right. Hold on one second. I'm reading a comment. Oh, well, okay. No, I haven't seen that, Jacqueline. I'll take a look at it. So you have to, this is it. This is it. This is the part where you have to make a decision. Do you want to be a part of history to where you can look back upon it and say, man, in 2024, I gave up. I was pissed. And all I did, I was cranky the whole time. And I worried and I lived in fear. Well, I've made a decision. I'm going to enjoy this. I am buckled up. I'm ready for this ride. And I know absolutely, yes, absolutely in the end, God wins. But right now, as far as man goes, things are coming. And I know you've heard that before. You don't hear it on my channels hardly that often, okay? I don't push that, okay? I don't push it like that. And that's why I've always been one to say, again, events, not dates. I don't put dates out because you will always be disappointed. Dates are only meant to match up Q drops for communication. This is how they communicate. Those dates are important for us. Saying something is going to happen on what's today, the 6th, saying something's going to happen tomorrow, December 7th. Well, I wouldn't bet the mortgage on it. Okay? Because it never turns out that way. The dates are meant for the communications of the Q drops. Watch the events in the world. Watch the events that are unfolding. Look at the events I just showed you that happened today. All right? It's like a puzzle piece right now. I'm going to enjoy this ride. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to worry. God will provide everything that I need. I will continue to get through this. I am looking so much forward. I am so excited. Okay. I've been working so hard behind the scenes right now and recovering, working on my spiritual aspect, working on my physical aspect and my health, my physical health, and also working hard behind the scenes thinking, I know exactly what I'm a part of right now. There were times throughout my life I didn't realize what I had, or I didn't realize the enormity of the situation. I realize the enormity of the current situation right now. And the current situation says if you're an American And even as crazy and bleak as things look and dark, all right, it's not going to last. This is it. This is the final countdown. Make a decision. Rise above it. Be a warrior. Get into the fight. Don't give up. You're at the end. You have experienced, we have all experienced battle fatigue out here in the digital battlefield, in the comfort of your homes, with your family and your friends, at work, wherever it is that you are, that you've experienced that battle fatigue. You can get frustrated and throw up your arms. I get it. But here we are now. Here we are now. And I'm telling you right now, I believe it with all my heart. There is no way that this country is going to plummet into the depths of hell, into 1,000 years of darkness. It's not time for that right now. Okay. This is not the end times. I'm going on record to say that right now. I don't believe it because I don't feel it. And God has not put it on my heart. I don't believe this is the end times. This is man-made, created. Evil has just reared its ugly head more than we've ever experienced in our life, but it's not the end times. God is still with us. God is absolutely with us. And we as a nation just need to turn to him more. But things are happening. They're going to happen. Just lock and load and get in place and just strap up and put on that armor. It's a great time to be alive right now, folks. Like I said, I'm super excited about what's to come. And the most exciting part is I have no idea. I could sit here and any other truther or independent, I don't like to be called a truther, to be honest with you. I like independent news reporting because the truther thing labels you, but I don't mind it. But I don't want to be tied. I don't like being tied to Q. All right. Even though we talk about that, don't tie me to that. I'm into independent news reporting, and I'm going to continue to do this once this craziness stops. Okay. And I'm going to continue to go on and on and on until God allows me to. So that's what I have to say. Buckle up. It's going to be incredible. And you may not agree with me, and that's quite all right. That's okay. But I would hate for you to miss it. And what I mean by miss it, you may be present, but are you really present? Is your worrying and your fear and your doubt allowing you to be present, or is it holding you hostage, holding you in bondage from really enjoying what's about to happen here? That is entirely up to you. I'm not going to live as a slave in my mind or trapped in fear because of what these stories are telling me. Not at all. I'm ready for this. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never said these words before at all. But because I wasn't a big fan of it. But now we're at a certain point. I'm okay with what I'm about to say. Enjoy the show because we're going to see things we've never seen before. Let me close with these two things. You guys are something else. Check this out. I'm going to close here. We're going to get out of here. Taylor Swift, Time 2023 Person of the Year. Listen to me. I have discovered something today. All right. I put up this post. I thought it was funny. I just threw it up. Never in a million years did I think it would be like a post that would, let's take a look real quick. Hold on. That would get the attention that it got. And it went off the charts. And hold on. Let me look. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Oh, yeah. So there's almost 300 comments already on that one. Yeah, I'm going to put something. I'm going to put Taylor Swift up once a day, every day. No, I won't do that to you. Just to get the likes and the clicks and the comments. Boy, did that post gain some serious traction there. Boy, you guys had a ball on that one with all the comments. But as I said, then I put up the other one, which I love the internet. This is why I love the internet for this right here. Here it's fixed. That's awesome right there. I don't know who did that, but it's perfect right there. Melania on the cover of Time said, fixed it. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. So let's do this and let's get out of here. I'm going to play one video. Some of you may have seen it. It was just posted before I came on the air. And then I'll say a couple closing words and I'll get out of here and I'll go check the news. So here it is right here. Dan Scavino made this post. I love it. And it is titled something about it's a tradition on an airplane. And it turns out, well, I'll let the video speak for itself. Feel good one.
Attention passengers, this is your flight attendant speaking. It is getting closer to the holidays and our captain has a special tradition he likes to do where he leads us all in a holiday song. So if I can please get your attention.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents by the tree. Christmas Eve will find you where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in your dreams.
Oh, I love that one. That was great. I'm not crying. You're crying. I thought that would be a great way to end tonight's show. So what I'd like to do is, one, as a quick reminder, okay? Looking forward to, you'll see us again this week. And I say us because I think I'm having Josh on this week to be a co-host with me. Josh is the young man from the Air Force. All right. He'll be on with me co-hosting, and we're going to be on this weekend. So I will post it. As far as the future and going into 2024, all right, you're not going to, I've learned a lesson right now because of the craziness of the world. You're not going to get a set schedule. You're going to see a lot more of these podcasts and shows. And it's already put a lot of work into it. And you're going to see some new things and new guests and everything else. It's going to get even better. So I got some great things lined up for you. Again, I will not commit to a day and a time. That's not going to work right now. Maybe after the election of next year's election, that's a possibility. We can talk about that. But right now we got to go just like with events. I talk about events, same thing with this podcast. So you're going to see more of it at least 2 or 3 times a week. You're going to see me with people on here. Again, I'm also looking forward to having on Nick Nansen again as soon as I get cleared about the Mel Gibson documentary series that's coming out about child trafficking and him going to Ukraine. Nick Nansen is the gentleman who owns DNA Films, who did Operation Toussaint and everything for Operation Underground Railroad. And I talked to Nick. He's been on the show once, and he'll be back as soon as he gets the release from Mel Gibson when it's going to come out. And he's going to come out and talk about it and be one of the first interviews to go public. So I'm looking forward to that. So there's a lot coming on. Again, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your trust in my reporting. Thank you for being here and being a part of a community, which is very good which is very rare too, to have a Facebook page or a social media account that's really turning into a community of people. So, and I do work very hard to police it when it comes to outside infiltration, put it that way, to make sure that the community is good for you. Again, if you'd like to support me and you like my work, you believe in my work and you believe in what I do and you feel like you want to give back, feel free. You can go on Facebook right now, and there's some links there on this video, and you can go ahead and donate whatever's on your heart. And I really appreciate it because it goes a long way, because there are bills to pay that goes along with this big production and everything else and the things you don't see behind the scene. So God bless you guys. I'm going to get out of here, and then we'll talk to you real soon. And it's going to be a great year for what's to come, and also for my company, MindFix Entertainment, which is known is MindFix TV. God bless you guys. Have a good evening.